Hey, howdy, hey, welcome back to Trek on the Tube. It's time to talk about another episode of Star Trek. This time we're talking about Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 3, Choose to Live. And based on the title alone, I already knew we were going to see those those Romulan warrior nuns that we saw in Star Trek Picard, the Qowat Milat. Especially considering Burnham's mother is a Qowat Milat member, I knew they were going to play into this somehow. Also, it seems that New Star Trek are really trying to make this phrase, this saying here, choose to live, a meme. Or like, I don't know, they're trying to make it a thing. Anyway, Choose to Live was admittedly not a fantastic or standout episode of Star Trek, but it was better than the previous two we got this season, and it was overall a very acceptable episode. There's also quite a lot more for me to talk about this time around, which is awesome. I will say though, right off the bat, that I think this 50-minute format isn't working for this show. I know it's bizarre, I'm only noticing this now, like this never hit me with the previous seasons, but yeah, I'm feeling it now. Perhaps it's because the pacing this season isn't handled quite as well. Maybe it's just because there are more slower character moments, and the fact that they're hit and miss can kind of put you in a situation where you're sitting through a long scene that's just not interesting at times. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something about the runtime at the moment that makes the episodes feel unnecessary long. I do understand the need, or rather the want, the desire to keep all of the episodes at like a consistent runtime. They want to standardize everything in case you want to sell it to TV shows, that kind of stuff. But honestly, if you can do a story in, like, if the story you're writing works in 30 minutes, don't try to bloat it up just to get those extra 20 minutes or those extra 15 out of it. Like, if you can tell the story in 30 minutes and it works in 30 minutes, then do that. And that's kind of how I feel about this episode, although less than the two previous ones, admittedly. But yeah, I feel like they could effectively deliver the story that they want to tell in a little less time, as it is. Anyway, let's move on, starting with the Qowat Milat. Their presence and the presence of Burnham's mother were, in my opinion, quite interesting. The whole concept of the alien species and status waiting to be revived upon arrival at their new home was equally as interesting. I mean, it has been explored before in the franchise, but still, I mean, seeing new alien creature design, new aesthetics that go with that species, learning about a new civilization, it's all so captivating to me that even if it's been done many times before, it's almost impossible to have it go wrong. I will say though that I do think the plot itself was a bit clumsily written, like either that or it was purposefully crafted to be quite convenient, because even if this Qowat Milat nun couldn't ask the Federation for help as an individual, as it's stated in the episode, I'm sure she could have requested a special audience as a species representative, or she could have even gone to her own government and had the Navarre people speak as guardians of some kind for the sleeping species. So yeah, the writers there did kinda overlook some pretty logical choices, some pretty logical steps, and crafted the story in a way that got them the drama that they needed, but ultimately, what we got from the story was pretty solid. I will take a single moment to rage against the fact that we didn't even get to see a single shot of one of those aliens alive and awake at the end of the episode. I think it's such a shame, you know, such a waste. Maybe they'll pull like a Kelpian thing, like they did in Season 2, a Kelpian twist, where this species comes and saves the day in the inevitable big battle that they'll have in the season finale. I don't know. That would be greatly appreciated. It would serve as some kind of payoff. But as it stands, yeah, I'm just a bit disappointed we didn't get to at least see one shot of these guys. Maybe with the warrior nun there on the planet helping them out. That could have been interesting. Or at least just one shot of them, you know, landing, exiting the vessel, anything. I just wanted to see them awake, but it is what it is. We didn't get to see the handsome fellows alive and well. Regardless, the set design was really good. The environment was truly immersive. Yeah, okay. Having this species also use holographic displays is a little disappointing. Like, I get that it's probably the cheapest way of doing it, but sometimes cheap feels cheap. It feels tacky. I like seeing alien things and physical alien panels, alien buttons, and in my opinion, that helps add a lot of value to an episode. While we're not too far away from my first mention of plot convenience, let us mention the second, the tracker that was just sitting there on top of the dilithium in the first drawer that Tilly opened. I mean, come on, I understand that all of that is just, you know, a tool to get the story moving, but at least, you know, bury it a little and make Tilly scan for it. Because as it is, one could really wonder how the nun didn't see it when she dumped the dilithium in the chamber. Concerning the story beats and character moments, I very much appreciated the Book and Burnham moments. I think they still have very good chemistry. The Book Stamets scenes were very good also. This is the most I've liked Stamets in a long time, and honestly, it's the most has actually been useful, so it's cool. It's unclear whether or not he's the chief engineer still, but regardless, I'm liking the way they're using him this season. Tilly as a character is still a bit much for me, the president. Goddamn. I don't know if this is being done on purpose or not, but the way she talks about the Federation and the integration of new species, I don't know, it's so forceful, so it's almost intimidating. It almost takes away from the idea of a consensual union of friendly worlds banding together to help further and help each other's cultures, you know? With her, it almost feels like a fucking gang. It's organized crime bullying people into joining. It's odd. I mean, maybe I'm taking it a bit far, but yeah. Again, I don't know if this is done on purpose or not. I'm curious. In any case, what I'm really trying to say here is beautiful unions of different worlds is only really that if everyone, you know, if no one feels forced into doing it. She's a bit, I guess, heavy-handed in the way she's handling, I guess, the diplomatic aspects and the new integrations. But hey, look, if it works, it works. I guess it's just odd the way they're doing this. She maybe it's just to show us that you know, she won't back down on certain matters. I don't know. The directing this time around, I feel, was pretty good. I enjoyed the slow shots in engineering, for example. The music wasn't obnoxious at all this time around. On the contrary, every piece blended itself well with the scene it was paired with. So that's a win. The performances were solid. The visual effects were good. Some final comments would be that this Starfleet captain was a bit quick to fight, in my opinion. But that could be justified by how defensive Starfleet and the Federation in general had become post-burn. The intrigue for the rest of the season is being set up quite well. All the Navarre stuff was wonderful, from the visuals to the performances to the costumes. Big fan of all that stuff. Even the mind meld with the flashback worked for me. That's interesting, isn't it, though? Because I'm not a fan of Vulcans, and I'm also not really a fan of, you know, episodes or movies that explore what's going on in one's head. I'm just not a fan of that, generally speaking. And yet, for the second time, this show has delivered an episode that is, you know, revolving around Vulcan or Navarre, and that's pretty much got a big mind meld integral to its story. I'm talking about whatever it was called, the season 1 episode where Sarek and Burnham were speaking through his mind or whatever it is. So yeah, on some level, for some reason, this type of story is connecting with me, or at least I'm connecting with it, and I don't know why. Lastly, I really liked the bar. You know, this whole setting with the dartboard and the fireplaces. It was pleasing to look at. It was different in good ways. It gave the characters something else to do rather than just walk around a hallway during a conversation. It was a nice setting, and I feel that having this kind of place in Star Trek shows and on ships helps forge not only the friendships between the characters, but also our friendships as viewers and the audience with the characters that are on screen. So yeah, that's about it. Good episode. As we said earlier, the pacing still needs a little work. I think that, you know, just shortening up a couple scenes, making these episodes just ever so slightly shorter could help a lot. And yeah, no payoff for the alien species, which, I mean, maybe that's a personal thing. Maybe that's very subjective, but I would have enjoyed a bit of a payoff on that front. Overall, though, good episode. Quite pleased. Let's move on to the Easter eggs and references. First of all, we got a Vulcan nerve pinch, though it was executed by, I don't know, is that a Romulan? Or at least it's a Navari, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting to see not only Vulcans doing this thing now. At one point, they talk about a red spice, which is a Vulcan red spice to calm people down. It was mentioned first in Deep Space Nine. Visually speaking, Navarre feels very Vulcan, honestly, because I guess it is Vulcan. Right down to the fountains. There's fountains everywhere, like we've seen in previous episodes of Star Trek, including the animated series. The bar on the ship is not only a bar that, I mean, obviously reminds us of Quark's bar from Deep Space Nine, but it's almost as if they did it really on purpose, because there's Illyrian sitting, you know, at the tables, just like Morn used to sit at Quark's bar, and the bartender is an actual Ferengi. The whole idea of a hollowed-out planet to be like a ship was first kind of mentioned, I guess, not really explored, but mentioned in the original series, and seeing all of these people sleeping, I know that they were on status pods, so it wasn't exactly the same, but it reminded me of two Voyager episodes, Waking Moments and Dragon's Teeth, where they had people either in status, either sleeping in big caves as well. That's it. That's all of it. Those are the Easter eggs and references that I could find. Did you find more? If you did, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm trying to catch up. You know, I'm always an episode late at the moment. That's because Prodigy and Discovery had to release the same week a few weeks back, so I'm trying to catch up. Hopefully I'll get there sometime soon. I'm also planning on releasing various unrelated videos. I've still got a section, no, not a section 31. What have I got? What am I working on? I'm working on a Starfleet video. I'm working on a Mirror Universe video, hopefully. Still a couple species videos. Someone requested a Cation video recently, so maybe we could do that. Yeah, that's about it for me. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Do all of those wonderful things. Become a patron, and a big thanks to all of the current patrons. You're all fantastic. Live long and prosper.